My name is Queva Hubbard. I work for the New Mexico Family Advocacy Program as a CPSW, also as a parent mentor coordinator. So we serve families that are in the child welfare system. We are a part of their legal team. So I work alongside attorneys and social workers, and we provide services, resources, clinical case management, and in my role, I provide peer support. And also as a coordinator, I train new hires, parent mentors coming in, and I make sure that they're ready to be back in this field. All of us as parent mentors, we come from a background of lived experience, meaning that at some point in our life, our children have been taken into custody. And so with that lived experience, we're able to, sit with our parents and really have those uncomfortable conversations. And also, I do the hiring, I do the encouraging. I have the uncomfortable conversations with the parent mentors because, they are still dealing with trauma from their cases. And so, we work together to make sure that we're all okay. I mean, we are a tight team. But as the coordinator, I do all the check-in and making sure that we are consistent with working together. So the path was that led me to be a CPSW was I was in a treatment center, which is the Pavilions, which is a sister program to Crossroads for Women. And I had just got out of Department of Corrections. And I was there and I just knew in my head that I was I'm gonna coast this one right on out and I'm gonna get out and I'm going home. But there was a case manager there and she kept telling me, like, you got it, you got the skills, you got the leadership. And she kept like throwing the flyer under my door. And I thought that was so weird. But with that flyer, it started to plant a seed. And so once the opportunity came for me to take that training, I jumped on it. And, needless to say, I needed that in my life. It was a lot of barriers, a lot of challenges trying to handle that, but I made it happen. And so with the training, it opened up the door for employment, right? So I was able to get hired as a case manager once I graduated from the Pavilions. I was hired on as a case manager at Crossroads for Women. And so I was able to tell my story on the platform to social workers, and there was a social worker there who worked at the courts as a, advocate for parents. So instantly that connection started. I started doing presentations with them, and before you know it, I was hired and been there ever since. Some of the barriers that I encountered was a lot of internal negativity that had been planted over the years of who I was, what my worth, how do I see myself, and how I thought that others see me. I come from a background of addiction, incarceration. I lost my kids, domestic violence. Like I had all these issues and all these baggages that I didn't think that would qualify me to ever be in a position to want to help others or even be in a position to educate myself. And so the barrier consisted of me even telling myself that I could do this. I had the support system. The Pavilions staff, they were amazing. They made sure that I had transportation. They made sure that I had food. It was the negativity that I was dealing with. That was the huge barrier that I was telling my story. That was my biggest barrier. So my certification allows me to help others because I'm gonna just be real, it opened the door for me that a lot of doors have been shut. And so with that certification, I was able to sit at the table and have those conversations of individuals like me, not only just about, being a woman, but also being a woman in long-term recovery, being an African American woman, being a mother, being someone in a city that I knew no one. And so I had all of these things under my belt, and I was able to sit and have those conversations. No, I am not a complete representation of this population, but I can sit and tell other individuals like, hey, maybe we should take a step back and focus on this, instead of this. And so, working with all these organizations, money is the biggest thing, right? In order to support people, we must have some kind of financial stability. But at the end of the day, if you don't have someone that's like-minded, has gone through it, we're not doing any justice in making these decisions for this population. We're just putting them in this box and we're saying, hey, we think this will help. We hope this will help. But if there's someone like me sitting there, I can sit there and say, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. Let's try this again. So that has been the biggest thing with my certification, that I have been able to walk this path. And also, it has placed me in positions to grow my career. I'm currently going to New Mexico Highlands, working on my bachelor's program for social work. Even with all my issues that I stated earlier about me, having negativity and these thoughts, I tightened my bootstraps and I got up and I started an education path. And for some reason, I'm going hard. I'm very proud of myself. I am now the vice chair of Crossroads for Women. So not only am I an individual who was in that program and also a staff member, I am an individual who can sit at the table and say, hey, maybe we should think about the women in this aspect. I'm able to have those conversations with other individuals on the progress of this organization. Also, with this certification, I've been able to talk to judges and attorneys. Who would have knew? Poor little old me, the one who was in the criminal justice system, is able to have a conversation with judges and be comfortable. I have judges' phone numbers in my phone. Before this certification, I would never call 911. I'm not calling the police on my phone. But now I have conversations with law enforcement. I have conversations with judges and attorneys. And I'm not only learning from them, but they're learning from me as well. So this certification has opened up a wide range of opportunities for me. My hope for the next year is for the Office of Representation to start, which will be a support for families in the child welfare system. With the New Mexico Family Advocacy Program, I have been a parent mentor coordinator for quite some time. So I have been able to implement a lot of strategies, a lot of learning techniques for parent navigators for the next office that'll be opening up. And so within the next year, I would like to see more of me, not just my characteristics and my pretty face, but more of individuals who have lived experience with the child welfare system to start helping other families who have those as well. And not only just moms or dads, grandmothers. We need guardianships, like anyone who can say that, hey, I've gone through this and I want to help. I would like to see more individuals pop up and let's help New Mexico families. Well, in 3 years, I'm hoping to have graduated with my bachelor's, working on my master's. And I'm really hoping that, I have a daughter that's in college. I'm hoping that she'll be graduating. I got all of these hopes and these dreams, but in 3 years, I want to be at a level with my career to where I don't have to work 3 jobs. I don't have to worry about, my kiddo in college and my kiddo in middle school and me trying to figure it all out by myself. I want to be at a level of stability, not only with myself, but with my career and also with my peers. I have really ran into a lot great of colleagues throughout my journey, and most of us have become friends. My kids love going to their house. They come to my home. I really want to be at a level to where I'm okay with society and how society is treating me and not feeling as though I have to stay in the shadows. That has been one of the biggest things with my journey, is coming up from behind the curtain and being okay with being in the spotlight. I have a friend of mine who's like, it took you 3 years to come to my house. And I say, girl, that's not easy. When you're used to not being invited, when you're used to being the black sheep, when you're used to hearing the whispers around you or about you, you get used to isolating yourself and saying, maybe I shouldn't even expose myself. So within 3 years, I want to be like a flower, a rose out of the concrete. I want others to just be like, come over, cook, cook, cook. And I'm going to eat. So that's where I see myself in 3 years, is just really flourishing and a path to where, success it doesn't look hard anymore. It's just, I'm just trucking it, just getting it done. I would tell the next up and coming peers, do it. do it. Don't listen to what anyone has said about you. Go back to the drawing board, write down your goals, write down your dreams, and don't limit yourself. Do not feel as though nothing is unreachable. Everything is reachable, even with our background, with our history, with the things that we've gone through, even with the scars. They show resiliency. And I encourage everyone, if you want to do it, get up and do it. If you need help, call someone, text someone, email them, whatever you need to do. It is all reachable. Nothing in this world, nothing in this world can stop you when you want to get it done. I say that all the time. People make time for what they want to make time for. Make time for yourself and make time for your goals. Even if you want to be a CPSW, CSW, whatever your title or whatever your goal is, you can get it done. You just got to motivate yourself. You know, I I wish I can just sit here and say that all these people had a lot to do with my success. I do have a few who was really pushed me, but I'm gonna go ahead and just call it for what it is. If it wasn't for me and God, we wouldn't be this far. So pick who you need to pick and you hold on and you take that ride and you just go. And it's not gonna be easy. And no way it's going to be easy. But anything that's easy, we all know from the lifestyle that we lived, it doesn't last, right? You don't value the stuff that you get that's given to you. You value the stuff that you work hard for. You value the stuff that you cried at night for and you sacrifice. That's the stuff that lasts forever. A lot of things that will be obtained within your journey is priceless. The knowledge that I've learned is priceless. My education, priceless. I can have a conversation with someone, and when they see me in person, they're shocked because over the phone, I sounded completely different versus who I am in person. But that's because I know who I am and I don't change, and I'm an educated Black woman. I've just learned here over the last week, I went to Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I was able to experience the Tulsa Massacre Museum tour. By far the best thing I've ever done. And within that tour, it was so much humility. It was very sad to see my people go through something so traumatic. But I seen the ashes. I seen the work that they put in to rebuild not only once, twice, but three times. And so it created in me this earningness to want to not give up, because if this town could be demolished and they could keep fighting to keep going, that lets me know that I can fight to keep going. It's so much education out there for all of us, especially for my Black people. There's so much out there that we can achieve. There's so much out there that's for us. We no longer have to sit in the shadows or feel as though we're not an equal. Baby, we alive and we in full effect. So let's get it. That's all I can say.